Hey everyone, it is Kat
and Amber.
And we are Wondering Soup as always, and you are wondering with us. See, I said it first that time. The Wanderers.
Oh, what's up, Wanderers?
I did it first. Stop. Anyway, welcome y'all to part 2 of our 5-part series, or 5 steps on moving abroad to Mexico, or really anywhere, because all these steps can be used for any move. Last video, we talked about moving to Mexico and the whys of why you would want to move to Mexico, right? We gave you some questions, some things you should think about, and we're going to continue it this week, or this video, with where? Location in Mexico. Can ask you a couple questions, things you should ask yourself.
Right.
You ready?
Let's do it.
If I open up my eyes, I can see the skies. I can see the sky. See the sky. See the sky. Watch
So, location. We have a lot of options, right? Because Mexico is really diverse, which is great, but it means you have a lot to think about. Obviously, do you want to be in a big city? Is that what you're used to? Is that you have to live that way? You got to be in the mix. Totally get that. Mexico has that. We're gonna actually give you a list of some of the largest cities in Mexico. Mérida is only number 15, so there's plenty of cities even bigger than Mérida if that's what you're looking for. Right. If you want to get away from the hustle and bustle, there's smaller towns that are very friendly and welcoming, and that's where people want to live. You can live near the mountains if you want to be in the mountains. If you want to be at the beach, you can be at the beach. Yeah. You just have to ask yourself, what kind of environment do I want to be in when I move, and then make your choice based on that.
Right. And based on all of that too, what are you going to be doing when you get here? Are you retiring? Do you have kids? So those are the things that are going to help you when you're looking at location. Do you need high-speed internet? Do you need cafes if you're going to be working from home and you want to get out of the house and work? Do you need a house that's big enough to do all those things, right? Do you want walkability? Do your kids, play a part in where you want to live? These are the things you're going to look at, right? Yep. All right. And next up is going to be cost, because cost is going to, it should be first, but sometimes it's not. In our case, it was, because cost is a huge factor for us, and what motivated us to move abroad, right? I want everybody to stop doing, though, is when you go into the Facebook groups and the Reddit posts and all these videos that you're watching, and you say, how much does it cost to live here? Or can I live here with this amount? Right. And the answer is always going to be yes, you can, because you really truly can. Just like America is diverse, and certain areas and bubbles are really expensive, and certain areas are lower, or the cost is lower, the exact same thing applies to Mexico. So what you want to do is start asking yourself, or asking more quantifying questions. Can I live here with a budget of $2,500 if I want a 3-bedroom home, 2 baths, with a pool, with maid quarters, happens, walkable neighborhood. I want to be able to get to a grocery store without getting a ride or without having a car, right? Do they have medical facilities that are near me? These are the questions that you ask when you're asking about cost, right? It's not just a flat fee, because everybody in the group is going to go, yeah, because everybody there is at a different price point. You want to get away from comparing, in your eyes, oranges to oranges, because remember, the oranges in America are orange, but here they're green, but guess what? They're still an orange, right? So you got to think about those things when you're thinking of cost. Do a little bit more realistic questioning of yourself when it comes to cost, because everybody's cost is going to be different, and I can't tell you that this is going to work for you, because I don't know really what you want, which is why you're asking these questions.
Right. And everybody has different priorities.
Right.
Not just with money, but what's most important
in your home.
Right. In your home, or around your home.
Right.
Speaking of homes, so when you're thinking about housing, that's a big part of cost, right? Well, not just with cost, but just quality. The main thing you need to remember, so you're not part of a horror story, is to move somewhere having already signed a lease or already made a commitment to live in a place that you haven't even seen in person yet.
Don't do that.
Don't do it. It's going to be a mistake every time. Those pictures on Airbnb and those pictures on Facebook Marketplace, they're nice. They could have been 5 years ago.
They be house fishing, y'all.
They do.
House fishing.
All day.
Every day.
So you really have to be in person to see everything. Also because there are apples or oranges in Mexico that are not like the oranges in America or wherever you're coming from. So you need to realize that housing and houses are not the same. The apartments and the amenities are not the same.
Right.
So you really have to see those kinds of things in person. Like, oh, not every house has AC in every room. Nope. Oh, not every house has a stove in it. No. Like, you need to actually get on the ground and see it for yourself so that you can kind of wrap your head around, okay, this is an absolute must for me, but this isn't so much. And you just have context. You have something to compare things to.
Right. What we recommend is that you come here or any part of Mexico that you're thinking of long-term living, get short-term housing for at least 30 days. This way you have a week to see the city, the town, the area, and then you can start your house search. And in that week that you have where you're just relaxing, you can actually see some neighborhoods and see what you're actually looking for. Is it going to meet your needs? And you don't just take the first thing that comes to you, because there are hundreds, thousands of opportunities that are waiting for you. And this also helps you get your budget in mind of what you want, what you're willing to compromise on, and what you're not willing to compromise on.
Yep.
Because things do happen.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't hurt to see a place at night. At different times of the day. If you can get by during the day, get by at night, but you can only do that if you're in person.
Right. Do not sign a lease sight unseen. That is our pro tip for you. Do an Airbnb, do short-term housing. Do not sign a year-long lease sight unseen.
Yep.
I'm gonna just hit you upside the head with that. Boom, boom. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, now we're gonna get into amenities and culture, right? Because these are also things that are gonna, make wherever you choose to be home for you. Mm-hmm. Do you have kids? Are your kids bilingual? If they're not bilingual, then they can't be put into public school because that's going to be taught in Spanish. So you need a private school that you're going to have to pay extra for. So you need to budget that in. And is there school in your area? Are you going to be homeschooling? Are you going to be rural schooling? Are you going to be unschooling? These are things that you got to think about. Are they going to work in the area that you're going to be going to? Parks. Do you want to be able to walk to a park if you got young kids and you want to take them out during the day and you want to make sure everything's good to go, or at night, because people go to the parks here at night because it's really hot during the day. But is there a park near your home? That's one of the things that we always make sure of, that there's walkability in the areas that we live in. And walkability is going to vary by person, but just make sure that what you want is there. Are there sidewalks? Do you have a car? Are you going to have a car? Were you planning on getting a car? Those are things. So when you're looking at, I can live 10 minutes away from the city or 15, 20 minutes away from the city by car because I have a car. If you don't have a car, then you're going to be looking at ride shares, Uber, Diddy, all those things to get to and fro. Do you want to continue to do that to go to a basic like the grocery store? Grocery stores, my gosh, there are so many here, but they're going to vary. The levels vary depending on what you're looking for. There's some really local grocery stores that are only going to have local products. If you're looking to get some of the products that you have at home and you want to make sure that they're here, then you maybe want to look at a bigger city to do that, because the smaller towns are just not going to have some of the products that you want. Do you want your kids to be active in sports? Do you want to be able to go to the gym every day?
Right.
Every city and town is not going to have a gym that's going to be what you're looking for. So those are the things that you should be looking in your search. Are there gyms? Right? Are there sports clubs or teams that I can get my kids into? Mm-hmm. And last but not least is food.
Man, that's us. We literally will move for food. So we looked at that. We were looking at restaurants when we were looking at apartments. We literally went on the app for food delivery to see if there were any restaurants that delivered to the address we were looking at.
Right. And that killed one of the homes for us.
Yeah.
It wasn't showing up easily, and it was quite a ways out, and we knew that. So we were like, if we're going to be living out here without a car, let's make sure that at least we can get some food delivered. I don't want to cook every day. I do cook at least 4 meals, but 4 times out of the week. But I don't want to cook every day. But the app was like, you may have to cook 7 days, and I was like, oh no, that's not going to happen. If you don't know how to cook, you may not want to move to small town Mexico, because your option is going to be very, very limited to local cuisine. And if you don't like that local cuisine, baby, right? And the streets roll up here in Merida around 9, 10 o'clock. It's hard to find. So if you're a midnight muncher, this is not the city for you either. You might want to go up to Mexico City, Guadalajara, and things like that. And if you really are into food, the Yucatan food is interesting. You might want to look at Oaxaca, Mexico City. It's a little bit more diverse, even Cancun area, because they're so used to tourists. There are a little bit more options there. There are a lot of options here, don't get me wrong, but it can become a little one note after a while. And that's not slamming anybody. If you've got good food.
Yeah, if you're a picky eater and you don't eat certain things,
make sure you do your research.
Yes, you really have to think about where you're moving and make sure that what you want is there.
Right. Medical care, that's a huge one.
Yeah, there's medical care everywhere, right? But depending on what you may be dealing with personally, that's what you have to research to make sure that you're going to be able to get the attention that you need in whatever region you're planning to move. So you can definitely look into that before you leave. You can see what kind of specialists are in the area. You can see what kind of facilities exist. If there are any facilities that offer kind of the care that you are used to where you currently live.
Right.
If they accept medical cover, your health insurance coverage, or if you need to get health insurance, you can get that where you're going. Just that is definitely on the list of things you have to research before you decide where exactly in Mexico you want to be.
Right. Medical care is not equal in all parts of Mexico, just like it's not equal in all parts of the U.S.
Right.
If you have something that you require that you go to a doctor to see every week or every month or even every 3 months, and you want to make sure that you're near a city, a state that offers that ease of access, the ease of care. And again, that's not going to happen in every location. Merida has high quality medical care. It's one of the hubs for that. So again, if that's an issue for you, then you definitely need to look into medical care. And also prescriptions. If you have a prescription that you need filled every month, make sure that medication is even here.
Right. Or that you can get it here.
Right.
That you can get it shipped here if need be.
And shipping is whoop, whoop, whoop.
Right.
And last but not least is crime. Crime happens, babes. Merida is one of the safest cities in North America. I think it's like touted. What is it?
No, touted.
Touted
as one of the safest cities.
It's touted.
Yes, it is.
Right, but crime happens here all the time because petty crime is petty crime.
And crime happens everywhere, people.
Right. So do your research. If you like to leave your front door open, crime is going to happen.
I wonder where do you do that at? Where?
You don't do it here, but people do. And then they're surprised when they're robbed because petty crime happens, right? So what you're looking at when, people have talked about crime in Mexico and it's always in the news and things happen. We're not going to downplay that at all. It does. You just got to keep your head above water, be smart about your choices, do some research when it comes to the neighborhood that you're moving to, look at how often the police cruise through. Our neighborhood in particular, the police are highly saturated here. And I'm thankful. I don't look at police the same way as I look at police in the U.S. Because I just don't. But there may be some areas that you may want to think about that when you're looking at where you're going to live it for the next year or 2 or 3 or 4. Whatever it's going to be, make sure that it's safe and it works for you. And that's what I say about crime. Do your research. Be smart. Implement whatever the locals say you need to implement to make sure that you're safe and your family's safe. And I think you should be good to go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Crime happens anywhere there are humans. So unless you're living with somewhere where there are no humans, there's the opportunity for crime. And
Mars is opening up.
That's our safety tip when it comes to crime. Be mindful, right? So those are the things that we think you should think about when you are thinking about the where when it comes to Mexico. You got location, 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 but all those locations are so plentiful, just like they are in the U.S. Hone down, do your research, go into the Facebook groups, go into the Reddit chats, the videos for the areas, the cities. There's somebody out there doing videos. There's some blogs. There's some articles about it. Do your research. Ask the right questions. Don't ask, can I? Because you can. Because you will. Right? You will. But ask the questions that really apply to you. I want a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with these amenities. How much do you think it's going to cost? You're going to get some really good answers. Don't leave an open-ended question. Give the people that you're asking that information from as much information as you can to make sure that you get what you're looking for.
Yeah. Just put yourself out there. Research first.
Then put yourself out there.
out there.
And put in regards to putting yourself out there, we do offer consultations.
Yeah, we do. Hit us up. We do our consultations.
Answer any questions that you may have. We are wanderingsoup@gmail.com, wanderingsoup.com as well. I am Kat.
And Amber.
And we are Wandering Soup. We'll see you in the next video, y'all. The next video is actually going to be talking about passports, pizzas, and money. Because it all ties together. Passports, pizzas, and money. MVP, because I wanted to, money, visas, passports. I don't know. It made sense when in my head.
Not money, cash, hoes?
Ooh!
Oh.
Child.
You can't say that?
Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's it. That's all, folks. We'll see you next video on money, visas, and passports.